Hi everyone, this is Tracy from We Craft at Home. Thank you for joining me. And as you can see, and as you saw in the previous cards, we're going to make an Art Deco card. So I've done like the fan style of the Art Deco, and we can do it in two different ways. So you can use just plain block of patterned paper, or we can do some Art Deco trellis, and I'll show you. I've made that myself, and I'll show you how I've done it. If you feel like you can't manage this, because this is quite a long tutorial, then don't worry about it. The files, as always, will be available to download. Now, I don't know if you've noticed the different shape here. I've tried this out a few times, trying to work out the quickest and easiest way for you to do this. So we will be doing this, but in this shape. So it comes like this instead of like this. Anyway, we have a lot to do, so let's get started. Oh, one more thing. This is a large card. So the blue one is like the card base. And as you can see, it's almost 10.5 by about 6.5. It might differ slightly. Each way we do it could be a little bit different, but the basics is you'll need to make an envelope to go with it. It's a special card. If you haven't seen it, I will put a link to the videos where I show you how to make large size envelopes for those special cards. So let's get started. There's a lot to do. Now for the card base, we literally need a rectangle and this shape here in the polygon. I'd called it a trapezium. I don't know if I'm right, but that's what I would call it. So first things first, we need to flip it because we need the smaller edge on the bottom. So it's like that. And then you untick maintain aspect ratio, and we want the height at 5, and this width we're just going to change it to 4. It's not much of a change, but there we go. And then you are going to duplicate twice. Now the first one we are going to do at 4.25, and that height we're going to do at 3. And then this one here will be the smallest one, and we're going to do the height at 3.5 and the width at 2.5. So you can see we've got 3 there now. Just going to, if we zoom in, and then what we're going to do, we want them level, so let's make them level first. We're going to grab all 3 and do this one here so that they all are level at the bottom. And then what we need to do, just to get, this will be changing again, but just to get them roughly where we want them, this middle line here we want on the line of the larger shape. So I'm using my arrows just so that I don't change the position at the bottom. Okay, so that just gives us roughly where we know we want it to be. And then for each shape, so the middle shape, we are going to move just 20 degrees. So we're going down 20 degrees. And then the smaller shape, we want 40 degrees. So we are going to change it. And then, so you can see that the shapes kind of, they're not equally in the right place then. So what we need to do, I'll explain first. So that's the middle line there, and we want it on that point. And that's how we know we've got it in the right place, so that it's there. And then if we grab them both, we just want this one so that the straight line is on the corner there. You can see how the shape comes now. And then what we're going to do is grab them both, we're going to duplicate, we're going to flip, but we want to flip horizontally, and then they're going to come over here. Now this isn't an exact science. Actually, if we group that, I'm just thinking, just come up with this, and we group that, then we can grab both and make sure they are aligned through the middle. We'll do through the middle so that we know they are in equal places. So there we go. And then if you grab the top one as well, so they're all selected and whirled. You see where the shape is starting to come now. And then we need the rectangle. Let's go out a little bit so you can see it a bit better. And the rectangle, it's just going to come down a little bit. So what we're aiming for, it needs to come in a little bit. We want it so that it goes straight through the 2 points there. And we want it so that both of them go to 6 1/4 roughly. Actually, this might go to just 6 and be... Let's have a look. Okay, I mean, I'm quite happy with that. So you want it just so that there's a little bit. I'm going to go in again. I just want to make sure that they go through the central lines. So on this side, we need to go in just a tad. There we go. Okay, I think I've got that now, and I'm happy with that being enough. So display zoom to match size will come right out now, and we'll weld that. You decide the size you want, and there's the basic card shape that you need. Now what we need to do is offset, and we are going 0.08 inward, bevel, because there's no rounded edges. And we're going to do that one more time. Same thing, so you just need to press OK. Now for this next one, we need to split them into sections. Okay, the easiest way I've found to do this is if we just do a straight line. Doesn't matter how big you do it. You use your offset. We're going to go down to 0.4. We want outward, and we want to delete the original line. So this is what we're left with. We need 2 of them, and we're going to do the same that we've done with the shapes. So we want one at 20 degrees and one at 40 degrees. And all we're going to do is make sure it goes through this inner corner here. It'll all become clearer as we go along. Again, I think maybe we're getting a bit closer. And then these two, so make sure you're going through the corner of the most inside mat, like that, see? Then you grab them both. Let's group them. So Control G on your keypad, and we are going to duplicate and then flip horizontally. So we've got 2 on the other side as well, in the same place. Now to do the bit that comes up like this, what we need to do, the easiest way I found, is to use the path tool again and just go up a little bit more. I haven't done this, it's not a science, I haven't worked out a way of doing it to be perfect. Then you're going down a little bit and then through the lines again. I'm not happy with that one. That's a bit better. And then you're going to do the same thing again. It's already set from when you've done it before. So you can see now that they're all like that. And then each of these lines, oh, I've grouped them, haven't I? Now you have to ungroup them. So separately, each line you want to bring up. Now you want to make sure you get the, see the difference in the arrows? At the moment it's like that. You need to do it so that it's facing that way. And you want to bring it up so that the end of that is inside this long one. And you want to do that with all of them. Okay, so now you can see they are all inside this shape here. So then all we're going to do is weld all of them together. These don't matter. It's these ones that matter. So now you're going to grab them all. So hold shift and just click on each one and then weld. And you'll see that shape. While that's still selected, click on the first mat, the smallest mat, and subtract. And now you can see you've got all the different shapes. They're all separate now. They're a group, so you can divide them. Actually, before we divide them, we are going to duplicate at least once. Let's display zoom to mat size and we'll bring that over there. We need to duplicate a few more times, but so now this is your basic one like this. So you can see you've got one mat, that's the main card, another layer, and then the separate layers. That's your basic card. Now for this one on the outside, that will be your main card. So you're going to need two of them. And if you don't feel comfortable, you do a score line across one of them, just across the top part. You could even do it from corner to corner. Let's have a look. Layer, duplicate. We'll bring this up. So you would just do path tool. You could do it from there actually, that might be easier. And a score line. There we go. So that is the back piece. I could group that. I'm just going to put it there so that I know it's with that. So let's just put that to the side. Actually, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. So I'm going to hide all that. Now this, I am going to duplicate again. So I'm now going to show you how to do these. We need that for later, so I'm just going to put that over there. The first thing you need to do is make a frame out of these. So we are now going to divide. To do these frames, I haven't used this one. If you want to, just leave it there. But I would still use it as somewhere to put a sentiment and only use these. Okay, so we're going to grab them all and we are going to offset at a 12. There we go. And then if we grab them all again and subtract, it takes the insides out. Obviously wants me to do it one at a time, so you do each one, subtract, and it takes the insides of the square out, so it leaves just a frame. And what I mean by that, if I press in the mid, if I click in the middle, it goes off because there's nothing there. You have to click on the frame to select. Okay, so now we've got them. I'm going to group them and move them over while I show you how to do the background. Now for that, again in the polygon shapes, in this diamond kind shape, it's more like a kite shape, I guess. So we're going to make a frame out of that as well. I want it a bit thicker though. Bevel, okay. Yeah, that's about perfect. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to subtract so that it just leaves the shape and nothing inside it. Okay, I'm going to just size it down a little bit. And then we are going to duplicate. And again, grab them all. So we're at 4 at the minute. 8. And duplicate once more. That's 16, I think. So then what we're going to do, if you grab them all and you do, where is it, this one, so that they all line up the same at the top. And then down here, I've got it ready already where I was just testing it. We want minus 0.2 because we want them to overlap a little bit. And then you click this and you see they're overlapped just a little bit. If I get in closer, I can show you like that. It makes a nice pretty pattern. So then we are going to weld. See that nice pattern? If I undo that, you can choose all different sizes if you want to. So let's go minus 10 and see what that does. So that only just crosses over. Okay, so what if we done 15? Let's have a closer look. Let's try that then. So if we weld, oh, there we go. I actually prefer that. I've been using minus 20, but actually minus 15 is, to me, a lot better. So display, zoom to matte size. We've now got a nice long line, and we're just going to make it smaller because we don't like them big. And then we can go back in. So we duplicate, and this is your choice how far up you want to go. So I kind of like, I'm going to go in a little bit closer so I can show you properly. So I kind of like this point to be just above this point. What you don't want is this point going over here. So actually that looks pretty perfect because it's looks like it's fairly even either side. I don't think we can, yeah, that's too far. Okay, so to me that looks pretty good. So then you would pick them both up and weld again. Now after that first one that you do, once you duplicate, it's pretty much put it where you want. Again, we're going a bit closer. I keep going too far out, guys, sorry. So you know you can move it up a little bit. Maybe that's too much. Go down one. There we go. And then all we need to do is, if you pick both, you can now align centrally to make sure that this one is in the same place as this one. And then weld. And now that's all you're going to do on repeat. So layer, duplicate, bring that one down. The only thing you need to work out is how far down to bring this point. So you grab them both again, make sure they're aligned centrally, and weld. Now let's go out and see what it looks like. I think we might need to do it one more time. Okay, that looks okay. So again, get them both, align them centrally, and weld. And now you can see you've got a whole sheet of them. Now if you like this background and want to keep it, duplicate now so that you can use it again. I'm going to be honest, I've got a project coming up and I'm using that again. Although I'll show you how to do it again, I will be using it again. Okay, so now what we need to do, we need to duplicate this original one again, because we are going to cut them out in this. Now again we need to divide, and I am going to get rid of that because we're not doing that one. Now what I would do is keep them together, and we can bring them down there. Maybe not right at the bottom. Keep them together. Actually, let's just make sure we've got that one, which can be up there, and then keep them together, just so that we know which side these are meant to be on. Okay, and then if we pick them all, the button you need to use on the overlap is divide. You'll see them go darker. Now make sure that you take the right shape that you want, which make sure you go on the lines and not on the shape, because otherwise I'm gonna hold shift and grab them both together. I made a mistake when I was practicing, and I took these, as you can see, and it didn't work. So just lesson learned for me. So make sure you go on the lines when you pull them out. Hold shift. I just want to keep these together so that I know that they are the right ones for the right side. Okay, now this you can get rid of. Don't need it anymore. Like I said, if you've duplicated and you've got another one ready to use whenever you want. So now we need to bring these back in, and you've got to fit each one into the frame. You might need to size it down just a tad, not a lot, so that it all fits in nicely and doesn't come over the edge of the frame. Once I've got them in, I'll move in a bit closer to make sure that they fit nicely. If I go in a bit closer, I'll show you the aim. So each one of these you need to make sure is between the frames, so it doesn't go outside and it's not inside either. Okay, that looks okay to me. So I am going to select it all and weld, and that will tell me if I've done it right. And there we go. So we now have all of them. So I am going to group it so it's all together. It all looks okay to me. I'm going to colour it so that you can see for yourselves. There you go. Display, zoom to matte size. And then you would use this as a background to stick it on. So let's go gold, because that's the colours I've been using there. You can go the other way round, but that is your own frame to work with. For sentiment, before I forget, let me just bring all this out so that I can show you. I have used the text. I had a font called Arabella, very Art Deco, so I done a happy birthday just to see what it looked like, so that I could show you what it was like. So that's the font I used, Arabella. I'm just going to move this out the way so that I can show you. So this is our whole card. If I colour these now, if you want to do an insert, then you would just cut out a piece of paper in this second layer down. I am just, okay, let's ungroup. I'm going to colour it now just so that you can make sense of it. So that's the back of the card. Let's say we've done the card in the dark blue because that's a very Art Deco colour. And then the next level we done in the gold. So that this level was in purple. Like that. So that's your basic shapes for the card. And then if you wanted to use this layer, you would do it on top. And this time we are going to we'll go back to gold just so that you can see it. I think I would probably do it in a different colour, but just so that you can see the difference. And there we go. There's a lot of gold, blues, purples in Art Deco. That's why I've used these colours. But that gives you an idea of how to do it. And then you can stamp, use dies, or like I said, I use the Arabella font there. If I bring it over, I actually really like that. It's a lovely Art Deco. It's right at the back, so let me just bring it to the front. There we go. And then I've got loads of dies and stamps and everything in Art Deco because I do love it. So I would probably add that as a topper somewhere. And there you go. So you can use, you don't have to use that. You can use it just like that. Maybe use some pattern papers, whatever you want to do, but that's your basic Art Deco shaped card. Like I said, you'll have to do your own envelopes, but I do love it. I think it's worth it for someone who likes Art Deco and is fortunate enough to get a special card. Okay, so I will see you over at the craft table. Okay, so I'm over at the craft table. Before we start sticking one together, I just wanted to show you, this is the one I've done with just the papers, and I've done an insert which I've done on the scan and cut, and I just cut across this tab bit at the top so that it fits in nicely. So there's one. I've put little stones because I feel like Art Deco's got to be glitzy. The paper pad I used was this one. It's Roaring 20s, but it's obviously Art Deco style. I love this paper pad. And I'm going to grab this one because I used this as a reference for the colours that I'm using on this one, in case you wondered why I might have gone a bit weird with the colours. So let's put that to the side and we will start putting all this together. So this one I went purple card with the white insert, and this one I've gone blue card. So again with this one I went gold as the next layer, and in this one I've gone more coppery because the colours here were a bit darker, so I thought I'd try that and see how it goes. So first things first, this is the one with the score across, so I'm just going to fold it back, and that tells me I'll put all the glue above the score line. Make sure that the shape completely covers the top of one, and then I'm just going to put the insert in quickly. Actually, I'm just going to let that set a little bit while I put the glue on. This one I've just put just for you, just made it quite simple. I was going to go black and white because I do love black and white, but I wasn't sure if it would go with Art Deco because Art Deco is all about deep, rich colours. So I changed my mind and picked some colours out of that paper. Thought that would be the best thing. But I think black and white might look gorgeous. So there's the insert. Left it quite simple. And this is the next layer. So it's like a bronzy satin card rather than mirror. I prefer the satin to the mirror, honestly. Although the mirror card probably suits Art Deco a bit better because of the glitzy. Now I'm going to just bring this card back in. For this one, I've kept everything flat apart from the sentiment bit, which I forgot to say. I cut out on this one. I went back to Scan and Cut, and I just done another inset on this shape. So that's the main shape, and then I've done an inset and I've put that on pads. Other than that, I kept all the layers flat. On this one, I'm going to do the green bits up on pads. So just make sure I've got them all the right way round. Okay, I will speed this bit up so that you haven't got to watch me just put pads on. Okay, so far that's what we've got. You see the shape coming on now. And they're the toppers I've got. So now I am just going to stick, so these are the trellis, Art Deco trellis that I've done. So now I am just going to stick them all on top of the green. Okay, so I know it dries clear, but I'm just using a wet wipe to push it down, and at the same time it will pick up any excess glue. One thing I did miss out was, as you're putting the green bits on, the best way to line it up is the lines in between, making sure they're straight, and then you'll see the rest of it will fit together okay. So that's what we've got so far. I wasn't sure about this afterwards, but I went with it because it was the colours on the patterns. I thought they're the obvious colours. We'll see how it goes. So then I've got two of these. They were again Crafter's Companion. I think it came with the same set actually. So that says Shine Like the Stars, and I've stamped it and heat embossed it. And same as this one, just says Special Birthday Wishes Just for You. I wasn't sure whether to put them like that, or yeah, I think I like them like that. And again, I am going to put them on pads, and then all I'm going to do is, I've got some crystals that I got from one of the Paper Craft Society kits, and just going to find actually, do you know what, I'm going to use some of that. So I'm just going to sprinkle some out. Again, I will fast forward this because it's very boring, but this is what you end up with. So they're clear crystal, actually they might be AB, they look like AB, but they pick up the colour around them. So I don't know if you're getting that on the screen or not. I'm hoping you are. So I want to do the same thing here. So because it's got Shine Like the Stars, then we can just be like they're all stars. So I am just going to do some scattered stones everywhere. So you can see how messy I've been. But you'll see once the glue dries, it's not a problem. It doesn't show at all like it didn't on the other card. So I'm going to go and do all this and then I will show you at the end. Okay, so there we go. I've covered it all in the gems like I said. You can see there now where it's all starting to dry, how you can see the stones clearly now. I hope you can see it. But there we go, I've done that like that. So that's with the trellis, and this is just with some pattern paper without the trellis. So that's the two cards that I have done. There's so much more you could do if you wanted to, but that was just to give you the ideas. I hope you enjoyed that. Love to see some concepts that you come up with. But that's it for now, and I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.